1-1 pitch. A swing and a drive to deep right. Away back. Goal!
And with that hammy call, it is time for another episode of A Swing and a Tribe podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network. I am your host, Mike Voorhees, and alongside me, as always, my good buddy, B. Spills. What is going on, Brent?
Mikey V, it's good to be with you.
Yeah.
It's good to be with you once again. This is our last episode of the regular season.
Season finale.
So I've had some time for this to digest a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, this unfortunate end to the season. The Indians did not make the playoffs, but the initial sting, I think, is off now.
Yeah.
So you've seen all these other teams play. It's kind of bumming me out a little bit, but I don't know. I think I'm geared up. I'm ready to hit the off season and see what the Tribe's going to do, this front office, and get excited for next season, man.
I think a vacation's in order for the two of us.
Yeah, I think so.
We've been covering the Tribe all year, so it's kind of nice. Yes, we wanted them to be in the playoffs, absolutely, but we did have a fantastic interview with Miss Gabby Cruz.
Yeah.
So check that out if you haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, our second one.
Yeah, return guest.
Yeah, we're hoping to get her on as often as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of fun with that, so I won't give anything away. You might want to go listen to it. But
yeah, so some of the stuff we talked about today, we probably touched on a little bit last week. But, Mike, before we get going,
yeah,
I just want to give a shout-out to our presenting sponsor, Redemption Fitness and Sports Performance. They've been with us all season.
Yes, they have.
They're awesome. If you haven't got a chance, you still can get in there for the summer discount. I know it's fall. It's getting chilly out there. But if you haven't checked them out, please check them out. Redemption's located at 3203 State Road in Cuyahoga Falls. For more info, you can check out their website at www.rfspgym.com. I mean, they're an awesome place, the type of stuff that they do, for all different ages, levels. They do personal training. They got high-intensity interval training, strength work, barbell work, all kinds of stuff. Like I've mentioned before, they're like weightlifting coaches. They're CrossFit level trainers. Man, they got it going on in there. So, yeah, it's just awesome to have them kind of ride with us this whole season.
Yeah, I think maybe you and I will hit them up here in the off season. I need to get rid of this dad bod and kind of shed some lbs. So maybe Redemption will be right for me here. So
yeah, absolutely, man. So now that we're jumping into this, let's talk about the end of the season, Mike.
Yeah,
that last week we were all excited going in the stretch. And it just kind of the wheels fell off a little bit.
What a roller coaster ride, I think, is how I'll define 2019 for the Tribe. For those that didn't know, we finished in second place in the Central Division. Our record was 93-69. We did finish 8 games back of the Twins. We got it down to, like a game at one point. Then it was 2 games. We were hanging in.
And we took the lead.
We did.
We came all the way back. Remember, we were down like 13 or 12 games. And
unfortunately, I hate to say this, I think we ran out of gas a little bit towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the injuries kind of caught up to us a little bit. But we were in that wild card race until the last Friday of the season. So heading into our last series against the Nationals, we were still in it until that Friday night. Unfortunately, the Indians lost. And then Tampa Bay and Oakland both won, which knocked us out. It eliminated us. So we finished the season on a 5-game losing streak. That hurts.
Yeah, I don't like to see that.
That hurts a lot.
But above 500 again. I don't think we've been under 500 since Tito's taken over.
We had a better record this year than we did last year, but we made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I would have liked to be in the playoffs this year, especially compared to last year, because I feel like it was on cruise control for most of the summer last year. And they were fighting every inch of the way this year, and we just came up short of that wild card. And then to see the Twins get smoked by the Yankees again in the first round of the playoffs.
Everybody says that the AL Central is the worst division in baseball. They looked completely overmatched in every one of those games. Their bullpen let them down. This team that hit over 300 home runs, the power was missing. The Yankees just got it done, and I hate saying that, and it actually burned coming out of my mouth that I'm praising the Yankees, but they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Sound weird. I don't like hearing that.
I don't either. I don't like saying it.
Better than the White Sox, huh?
Yeah, better than the White Sox for sure.
I don't like them.
But, at least it's not the Astros. We're not talking about them. So
yeah, and wasn't Minnesota, didn't they have the record for most home runs in a season?
No, I think the Yankees had that one.
But they had been right.
Yeah,
okay, they
Minnesota
were right there.
Was 2. Yankees
they were right there.
1.
Okay.
Yeah. But still, it goes to show you that come the playoffs, those stats mean nothing.
Yeah.
Your guys have to be ready and prepared, and being in that prime time night stage of these games, pressure's on. It's win or go home, and unfortunately, I feel bad. I wanted Oakland to kind of get in, and they didn't even make it out of the wild card game.
Yeah.
They
How about
got
Yandy
smoked at
Diaz?
home. You can't say his name.
That first game back from an injury, the wild card game, hits 2 homers.
How do the Indians feel? I mean, we could sit here and probably name.
Yeah, well, since we're talking about Yandy,
Yeah.
I know I don't want to get too much with it, but you keep hearing. What do you feel? Is it too early to see who won that trade?
I think we lost that trade.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't.
I think Yandy needed a change of scenery. I really did, because here in Cleveland he was trapped. He couldn't play third because of Jose. He couldn't play second because of Kipnis. And he didn't start playing first base until he got to Tampa. And we had Carlos and,
I don't think we lost that trade.
you know,
I think Bowers is still young. He
We'll see.
flashes. We see he can play the outfield. His defense seems like it's getting better. We know he can hit, but he can't hit consistently. He can't hit for average right now. But I think the big winner is we got Carlos Santana back.
we did. And
Starting first baseman in the All-Star game. What he did for that clubhouse,
Mhm.
I think that's something Yandy couldn't do right now.
No.
Yandy's been injured. He's injured again now in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's the one knock on Yandy is he can't stay healthy.
So I think it's a little too early probably to see, but
Tell me.
I would love to have Santana over
Let's
anybody.
look at it. If Jake Bowers plays an entire season with the Indians, then I think we can look at it. And if Yandy plays a full season and Carlos plays a full season and we can look at all 3 guys, then I think you would know who won the deal. I'm excited that we got Carlos Santana. I mean, he really shined here in Cleveland again. It was good to be home.
I mean, he was the heartbeat of that team this year.
He didn't get the welcome home type that LeBron got when he came home, but I know there was a lot of people that were ecstatic that Carlos came home, and I think he's happy to be here, and it showed.
He was like the Michael Brantley this year.
Yeah, he carried this team.
I mean, he was the guy, the leader. He actually performed probably his best season. I don't think he's ever hit that well.
No.
For an entire season. I mean, he was over 280.
Consistent all year. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. It's kind of
Carlos finished the year hitting 281.
Yeah.
34 home runs, 93 RBIs. He walked 108 times and struck out 108 times.
I'll take that all day.
I will take that every day of the week.
all
But we'll talk
day.
about Carlos here as Brent and I kind of go over our awards, so to speak, that we'll give out to the tribe. Coming up here in a little bit.
Speaking of, we're talking about homers there for a minute.
Yeah.
Remember that this offense or this lineup that started at the beginning of the season, we've talked about that a couple times. But to think that this kind of went under the radar, that the Indians hit a club record of homers this year.
Yeah, I heard that, and I laughed out loud.
222. And the previous record was 221 in 2000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, would you ever thought that starting the season?
No.
In the way the first month or two went?
And I'll tell you what, the injuries obviously killed this team. They did everything they could. I'm telling you right now, if Francona is not honorably mentioned for Manager of the Year,
Yeah.
I know it'll probably go to Rocco Baldelli or Aaron Boone. I get that.
I mean, Aaron Boone, I'll say the Yankees dealt with a lot of injuries, but their payroll
absolutely.
also is ridiculous. But
Yeah. Give me their payroll. And
but I
think
agree with the Tito thing.
Tito took a band of misfits. Yes, we got better at the trade deadline. We got, Trevor Bauer's gone. You bring in Franmil Reyes and Yasiel Puig and minor league prospects that look pretty good. That was a steal on trade deadline day. That was huge for this team. And it carried them, and it gave them that extra power heading into the, that final run. And, the guys finally ran out of gas. You look at Plesac and Savali and Plutko and the guys that were forced to step up with Kluber going down and Carrasco missing a chunk of the season, Bauer not being himself and then getting traded away, Clevenger being hurt. And you tell me that we could have tasted the playoffs. We finished 3 games back in the wild card race. We almost had it.
Oh, yeah, man.
And we just ran out of gas.
I've seen a lot of stuff on social media about Frankie and how the last week of the season, I think he only had like 1 hit in the White Sox series, and then he didn't really do anything until I think the last game of the year against the Nationals.
Yeah.
He had a couple hits. So how do you feel about that? Do you think, people are saying, oh, he wasn't clutch during the stretch. Like, what's your take on that?
He kind of ran out of gas. He missed the first month plus of the season.
But shouldn't he have more gas if he missed the first month?
No, because I think he was tasked with trying to carry this team on his back. Frankie has been the guy. When you think of the Indians, he's usually the first guy you think of. So automatically the stress and the weight that he has to carry, I'm sure during the season that weighs on you. You lose Jose. You lose Kipnis. The starting pitching goes down. He's forced to try to do it all, and I think he just kind of ran out of steam.
Yeah, so you're seeing a lot like people saying, "Oh, he's not worth the $400 million." That's a conversation
baloney.
We're always going to get into. As we keep moving forward here, we'll still be talking about it.
Ask Philly how they feel about Bryce Harper and his gargantuan contract. Where are they? Oh, that's right. They're sitting at home. They didn't even make the playoffs either.
I thought you just said absolutely it's worth it.
Oh, I think he's worth it.
That's not the same.
But I'm saying, like, Bryce Harper, to me, wasn't worth what he got.
But Frankie is, you're saying?
I think Frankie is, absolutely. I think Frankie is better than Machado and Bryce Harper. I think Frankie is one of the best players in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, he's like the face of baseball.
He is.
He's working his way towards that.
Do I think he'll be an Indian next year? Yes. For the whole season? No.
Really? Already? You think they're going to trade him?
I think
that 2 years left?
I think the Indians need to look at the big picture overall. I think if the Indians are looking at things and realizing that they may have to rebuild a bit. Corey Kluber's getting up there in age. Coming back from an injury, you don't know what you're going to get. Cookie, he was up and down, up and down. I can't fault the guy because he beat leukemia and came back to pitch.
Yeah.
Cookie strong forever. You don't know what he's going to be next year. I think you need to look at the big picture. If you can't re-sign him, he's at the peak right now. He's at his best. You could get a haul for him and still be in contention in what everybody says is the worst division in baseball.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the comments prior to the start of the season, I almost want to say by Jacobs. It's not Jacobs.
No, it's Dolan.
I almost want to say Jacobs.
No, he's
Paul Dolan.
I wish he was still here.
I know, Paul Dolan. It's always on the back of our minds. Like, enjoy him while he's here. This is what Chris Antonetti said, I think, about a week ago. About Lindor's future. He said, "We obviously would love Frankie to be here for his entire career and for as long as possible. I think Frankie really likes it here, too. He has always communicated that. We've never heard anything different than that. Hopefully, with that as the foundation, there would be an opportunity for us to align on something, but we just haven't been able to yet." This guy's more optimistic than what Dolan says.
Well, because Antonetti's the guy that's going to get it done. If anybody gets it done, it's going to be him and Chernoff. It's going to be the two of them together sitting down with Frankie's people and Frankie and saying, okay, guys, let's try to iron something out. Dolan's going to be the one ultimately that has to sign the check at the end of the day. But my hat's off to Antonetti. If they're able to sign him, I want Frankie here for forever.
Yeah, and I
want him to retire an Indian.
I know. And they have to spin that narrative a little bit to get the fans, on the good
They've
side.
got to do something because, our window is continuing to shrink. 2016, we were in the World Series. We were one game from winning it. And now 2017, we didn't get into the World Series. 18, 19. How much longer are you going to have this core of players playing at their peak level to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm curious to see, where this is going to go. Listen to this stat here, Mike.
Sure.
So 3 consecutive seasons with 40 doubles and 30 home runs. There has only been 5 players in the history of baseball to do this. Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, Alfonso Soriano.
Oh, my goodness.
Lou Gehrig.
Yeah.
And Frankie Lindor.
Wow. Okay. Guys, let's get the deal done. Get Frankie in here long term. Break the bank. Do something. Let's put this to bed so that we don't have to continue to talk about it and hear about it. I want it to happen. I think you've more than once said you'd like it to happen.
Yeah. I don't know for $400 million. But
then if
that's the number we use. I don't know why I think that number was thrown out there, so that's the number we keep using. Doesn't mean it has to be.
300.
So we got to think it's somewhere in that ballpark.
Bryce Harper made 330. I think 350 would be a good number, but I don't know if Mr. Dolan's got that in his bank account.
Yeah. So we'll continue that conversation. That's going to be ongoing until something happens, one way or the
when the
other.
winter meetings start, it'll be interesting to see what gets churned up, all the rumors, everything else. But yeah, I mean, he's got to be here, I think. But
yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll keep talking through that. I want to shift on over to the pitching this season.
Yeah.
Here's listen to some of the numbers, how we ended the season in the American League. The Tribes earned run average, 3.73.
Mm-hmm.
That's third in AL. Quality starts, 81, which is second. WHIP, 1.22, that's third. And walks per strikeouts, 3.35, and that's third. If you would have told us that at the beginning of the season, before it started, we would have been like, oh, yeah, okay, absolutely we're going to have that. But then you tell us when our injuries happen in the pitching staff, I would not have expected that to be the end result.
So I have a quiz for you here real quick, only because I'm looking at it. Can you tell me the Indian that had the lowest earn run average this year for us?
You're talking about starting pitcher?
Pitching overall.
The lowest ERA?
Mm-hmm. I'll give you a hint. It's 0.
Is the ERA?
Mm-hmm.
Not Kevin Plawecki.
Kevin Plawecki
Oh,
and
I
Logan
knew it.
Allen.
I knew it.
Both of them
Oh,
had.
come on.
Logan Allen and Kevin Plawecki had a 0.00
In like
earned run
2
average.
innings pitched.
Yep, Plawecki with 2 and Logan Allen with 2 1/3.
Give me that
okay,
stat.
so go with the starting pitcher.
Clev.
Savali beats him, but not by
I was gonna say Savali, but I know that last game.
Savali's innings weren't where Clevenger's was. Clevenger was 13-4 with a 2.71 earned run average. Savali was 3-4 with a 2.34. So that's pretty good for Savali coming out of nowhere. The starting pitching was unbelievable at times. It was awful at times, but you got to imagine Plesac was a rookie. Plutko, we didn't expect much from him. Savali, I mean,
Jeffrey Rodriguez at the beginning of the season.
Jeffrey Bauer, we thought he'd be here all year. I don't think anybody thought that we were going to trade him.
No, we thought that. We talked a little bit that we thought he might get traded. All the talks prior to the season.
Once Klub and Carrasco got hurt.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it wasn't as big a thought then. And then it happened, and we were like, well, the Indians know something that we don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, you looked at the bullpen, we had one of the best bullpens in baseball.
Yeah, and we had some hiccups there too with Brad Hand. Goody was on fire, but then he slowed down.
Let's look at it this way. So Brad Hand finished 6-4 with a 3.30 earned run average, 34 saves. I'll take that on my team.
Yeah.
No pitcher is going to be perfect every night out.
But he had a stretch,
he
man.
did.
That
and
was
I
rough.
honestly think that it just got to him. I don't think that he had been in that pressure situation before. He played for the Padres. They weren't in a whole lot of games last year when he was their closer. He comes to Cleveland. We're in a playoff race. I think the stress kind of got to him.
I like that young guy.
Karcinajak.
I can never say his name. I always want to say Karchinik.
Karinchak? Karinchak. Yeah,
no, what's the first way you said it?
Karinchak.
Like, yeah, they have like phonetic spelling on the rosters, do they? Some places do.
We'll find out. It's not game day.
But yeah. But speaking of pitching, man, and starters, so Corey Kluber's option was picked up for $17.5 million.
Yeah.
Do you think he will be on this squad at the start of next season?
Yes. I think he's probably your 4th starter going into next year.
You don't think they'll trade him in the offseason?
Not unless they get an overwhelming deal. I don't think anybody's going to want to give much away. You don't know what you're going to get.
2-time Cy Young winner.
But he got hit hard this year.
For a handful of starts.
2 and
fully
3,
rested.
2 and 3, 5.80 earned run average in 35 2/3 innings.
The thing about all the time he's had off.
I know.
I know it's injury related, but
you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think maybe by the trade deadline, if he's having a really good year, it's possible.
What do you think?
Teams are always looking for pitchers.
So if you think he's going to be on the team, what are your projected starting 5 as of right now?
So the starting 5 pitching for our pitching staff, obviously it starts with Bieber, Clevenger. Not in any. I'll say this: I'm not putting this in any particular order.
Okay.
But our top 5: Bieber, Clevenger, Carrasco, Kluber, Plesac.
You don't think Savali?
I think Plesac beats him by just enough.
Why?
I don't know. I think that I enjoyed watching Zach Plesac pitch. For those that didn't know, he was 8-6, 3.81 earned run average in 115 innings. So he gave us a little bit more than Savali. I'm not saying Savali's bad, but maybe you move Carrasco to the bullpen and you slide Savali into the starting rotation. It's possible. We don't know if Carrasco can come back and be a starter. He was a reliever when he came back. He could be a setup guy. He could be a long reliever guy. You don't know. So I think Carrasco there'd be an asterisk by his name. And if for some reason he can't make the rotation or they're not going to put him in the rotation, then I think Savali slides in. Plesac would stay.
What about Tristan McKenzie? Think he's got a shot to make the team?
No, I think he'll be in AAA this year.
Because he missed a lot because of injury.
He missed it, and I want to see what he's got. I know the Indians are pretty high on him.
I'm curious some of these prospects. Daniel Johnson,
Oh,
Nolan
DJ.
Jones,
Yeah?
like obviously Mercado.
So let me ask you, B-Spills. What's one major need for the Indians for next year? If you were the GM and you could make one move that's going to help this team get over that hump, catch the Twins, and get into the playoffs next year, because we all know the Twins will still be good. The Tigers, we own them. I don't think they're going to do anything. Chicago's still rebuilding. Kansas City's right there. They could do something. But for the Indians to get over that hump, what do we need?
Probably a corner outfielder.
Okay. So like a power bat, speed guy, what are you looking for?
I don't know. We could probably use another bat. We got Reyes. So,
He's a DH, though.
Well, I don't know. I heard he might be
He's a
asked to
DH.
lose some weight, and he might play some right field.
He's a DH. I don't see him as anything more than a DH for us.
I don't know.
In
He's still
National
young.
League games and the interleague stuff, I think
He's
he'll play
been
in the outfield.
he's been in the National League, so he hasn't had an opportunity.
I want to see him as our DH all year because that boy can mash. I don't want to see him in the outfield. I don't want him to get hurt. I want him in the middle of this lineup.
Yeah, or we need either second, third baseman. I don't know what's going to happen there because Kip's option was declined. Doesn't mean he's not coming back. But does Jose go to second? That opens up third. What do we do there?
I think if you're able to get somebody that plays third, then Jose moves back to his natural position of second base. Or maybe Jose goes, I'm not moving from third. Go find a second baseman.
Yeah, what's your need, your big need, you think?
I think our outfield is set next year, so I think we're okay there. I think Daniel Johnson makes the roster. I think he will be in the outfield. I love Oscar Mercado, Greg Allen. I think our outfield is
you got
pretty
Luplow,
set.
but he's only right.
Luplo's
Unless he
a
gets better against
platoon guy.
righties.
No, he didn't do well against righties this year.
I'm saying
Lefties
he needs to get
crushed.
more action.
Well,
So
we'll
you're going to have
see.
to platoon again. Naquin won't be back for the start of the season.
I don't think Naquin stays with the Indians. I think his time's kind of run out.
Why would you say that?
Because they want to see these younger guys, I think, with Zimmer.
He's still young.
Because you got Brad Zimmer, you've got Daniel Johnson. You're going to have to do something. Your outfield is log jammed right now with talent. Unfortunately, somebody's going to have to go.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make a splash, and I think that they're going to get a big free agent infielder. I think that would be ideal. I'd love to see the second baseman from Minnesota, Schope, or Shope, or whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's right up Cleveland's alley.
Jonathan?
Jonathan Schope.
Yeah.
Get him. Mike Moustakas. I've heard his name thrown around a
Yeah,
bunch.
because he only signed a one-year
and
deal.
he can play third, and you move Jose to second. I don't think the Indians are going to make a huge deal.
Yeah.
If we could re-sign Puig and get a corner infielder, then I'm okay with that.
I don't think Puig's going to be staying.
Money talks in this league.
I know, but I don't think you're gonna give him the money.
He lived out west. I think that's where he wants to go back to.
Yeah.
I think, and it pains me to say this. For some reason, I keep thinking Tampa Bay, and I hope that's wrong because that's still in Florida. But Oakland could be a possibility. Anaheim.
We'll see. You know, something else that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know, like, attendance kind of always seems to struggle a little bit at the Progressive Field, but people are watching on STO.
Yeah, they were.
I'm telling you, they ended the season second in the MLB in ratings.
What does that tell you guys?
That's pretty awesome.
They don't want to drive to downtown Cleveland and fight with traffic on 77.
It's awesome from a viewing standpoint,
Yeah.
but not from attending game.
That's a shout out to the guys on STO. It's Rick Manning and
Matt Underwood.
Shout out to them. Andre Knott. Shout out to them. I mean, I enjoyed watching the games on television.
Yeah.
There's something nice just about being at home, comfortable. You don't have to pay $10 for a beer or $30 to park.
Yeah.
$50 on a ticket, and you can sit at home. You got your own snacks and your own beverages.
Yeah,
I'm
but
okay
something
with
about
that.
being there, man.
It
Something
is.
about being there.
But not
America's
for, not for
pastime.
81 games.
No, that's hard. Season tickets would be hard
Yeah.
just to get up there that many times.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty cool. St. Louis is the number one. I feel like they're always number one.
That surprises me a bit.
Their ratings are always great over there. So we were third last year in attendance, viewing. 2017 we were number one, and the year
Nice.
before that we were fifth. So it's been pretty consistent. People
Yeah.
are watching, just not actually in Cleveland.
Well, okay. So Dolan, you want butts in the seats? You re-sign Lindor, get him a big contract. You make this team a powerhouse that no one wants to play. And that'll remember the 90s? 454 consecutive sellouts.
That's
when
gonna
we
be
had the lineup,
hard.
man. When we had a lineup that put fear in every pitcher that took the mound.
we hit more home runs this year than that lineup.
It doesn't matter. That lineup, though, from 1 to 9, anybody could have.
I mean,
hit
it's
that.
all relative. What they're talking about, the juice baseballs.
Yeah.
I mean, this balls are being crushed everywhere this year.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. So now we've reached the point in our episode here that I'd like to hand out some awards.
Yeah, let's
These
hear them.
Bills.
Let's hear them.
So first off, I'm going to hand you an award for being a phenomenal co-host.
Thank you.
Couldn't do this podcast without you.
Thank you, brother.
Your editing skills are top notch. You've been phenomenal. I'm looking forward to what next year brings. So I'll give you a little love there.
Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Love you, man.
So I'm going to start with my biggest surprise, and I'm going to go up and I'll finish with my season MVP.
Okay, let's hear it.
And then it'll be your turn. My biggest surprise, Roberto Perez. And the reason I say that, I didn't think that I knew that he could handle the pitching staff. I didn't expect the offensive juggernaut that he was this year. 24 home runs. That was completely unheard of. I didn't expect that. So shout out to Robo. Kudos, man. Biggest surprise.
This is a pretty cool stat about him, dude.
Yeah.
And say he became just one of only 9 catchers to play 100 games with 0 pass balls.
He's phenomenal behind the plate.
I don't have it in front of me, but his throwing out base stealer percentage or whatever that's called.
I can probably find that here in a minute.
But it's okay.
Fielding. We'll go with fielding here. Let me load this real quick. Not with pitching. I don't want pitchers. We're going to go to catchers. So Roberto Perez finished the year with a fielding percentage of .997. He committed 3 errors all year.
Wow.
As a catcher.
Wow. Does it have his base stealing percentage thrown out?
So he gave up 29 stolen bases, and he threw out 20 potential base stealers. So his stolen base percentage was just under 60%.
No, it'd be like 41%.
They have it at 59%.
59%?
Mm-hmm.
20.
Yeah, he gave up 29 stolen bases, and he threw out 20. Caught stealing was 20. Something
Wow.
tells me that seems a bit off, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
this is
So
straight
there's-
from the Indians website.
Oh,
so.
okay. Hey, all right. It was a lot regardless.
Yeah, so shout out to Robo, man. All right, so my Rising Star award goes to Greg Allen.
Huh. Really? Why?
I didn't know who this guy was at the beginning of the season, truth be told. And to see what he was able to do, not only as from an offensive standpoint, stealing bases, his outfield, that throw home when they StatCast or whatever was 100 miles an hour to nail a guy at the plate. That did it for me. I think Greg Allen is a staple in this lineup. I think that he's someone that fans will grow to love, and I'm happy that he's here. I think that if he can play a full season with the Indians and he can hit between 260, 270, he could be potentially our leadoff hitter going forward.
Yeah.
So shout out to Greg Allen.
All right. I wasn't expecting that one, but I can feel
Greg Allen. So his hitting, we'll touch on that here real quick. So he did finish the season. Let me find my buddy Greg Allen here. He did only hit 229, and that was in 89 games. So just more than half the season with the Indians. He only had 231 at-bats. But he had 9 doubles, 3 triples, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs. He had 8 stolen bases. So I think the potential is there. He definitely finished better than Carlos Gonzalez and
seriously,
Brad Miller.
You got to somehow bring Cargo up.
I can't let the season end
Oh,
without
my
talking about
goodness.
Cargo just one more time.
Oh.
Couldn't do it. So may he rest in peace. I don't know where he's playing. He's not dead.
Yeah, he didn't die, dude.
He just died with the
It
Indians.
could mean like, okay, I gotcha.
So, Rookie of the Year. Is there anybody else? Oscar Mercado. That guy came out of nowhere. St. Louis, thanks for trading him to us.
Great front office move.
Great front office move. Oscar Mercado stats. He hit 269 with, let's see, 25 doubles, 3 triples, 15 home runs, 15 stolen bases.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he's only going to get better.
Oh, he's only going to get better. He could potentially be a leadoff hitter for us, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Pitching MVP. This one was hard.
Yeah, who's it going to be?
Shane, don't call me Justin
Justin.
Bieber. I had to give it to Biebs, man. For what he was able to do this year, just unbelievable. With Kluber getting hurt, Carrasco getting hurt, Bauer getting traded, his season was, incredible.
Yeah.
Shane Bieber finished the year 15-8 with a 3.28 earned run average. How many strikeouts did he finish with? Oh, that's right, 259.
Woo!
And only 40 walks. Mike Clevenger gets an honorable mention here. 13-4. He had 169 strikeouts, 37 walks.
I'm excited to see those two next year.
That's 1 and 2.
They're gonna
That's
be
the top of
slinging
the
it, man.
rotation, I think. All right, drum roll, please. Our season MVP, Carlos Slam Tana.
Tana.
I mean, what else can we say about Carlos? Just the season that he had.
Love him. Love him.
So I remember texting you, Brent, when I heard he was back, how excited I was. I loved watching him play. 281, 34 homers, 93 RBIs. I love the fact that he walked 108 times and struck out 108 times. That's incredible. He had 30 doubles. He even had a triple. And he had 4 stolen bases without getting caught. So shout out to Carlos Santana. I mean, Frankie Lindor was right there. He had an incredible season. Luplo, for a platoon guy, he had a great season, but,
Yeah, part of that Eric Gonzalez deal.
Yeah. I mean, so those are my awards. Yasiel Puig for just overall awesomeness. I think what he was able to do in that lineup for half the season, he may have been a rental. But, man, oh, man, I would love to see him here all year. I think the fans really got behind him. They enjoyed him. So maybe the front office could do something. We'll see. But
yeah, I'm curious, man. It's going to be an exciting offseason. I think we kind of expect where this club is going, what the direction is, so we're not going to be so shocked when they don't make huge moves.
No.
We understand these young pitchers are coming, some of these young bats. We got Reyes, some other things happening. We hope some guys develop, some of these young guys. There's going to be all kinds of fun stuff to look forward to and talk to. But, Mike, thanks once again for riding with me through this whole season.
You got it, bro.
Thank all you for listening, giving us the time. It's our first full season here doing this. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up in the future. Going to do some different things. So we're excited to start that process here in the off season and just once again, shout out to our presenting sponsor, Redemption Fitness. Thanks so
you,
much.
Redemption.
Thank you. And
how about, hold on.
Yeah.
We forgot somebody else. How about the Press Play Podcast Network and their man, Chase Smith?
I literally was just going to say that.
Were you really?
Cut me out. Yep, I literally was just going to say.
Shout out to Chase Smith and the Press Play Podcast Network.
Yeah, and Jeremy Powell for coming on with us this year.
Powell, absolutely.
Gab Cruz for coming on.
Chase took a chance with the two of us and allowed us to take this and run with it.
Yeah.
And he's been nothing but supportive all year. So shout out to you, Chase. Shout out to them. Make sure you listen to all the shows on the Press Play Podcast Network. Lots of fun and exciting things. Brent, I don't know, man. This has been a heck of a ride.
Yeah, it has. It's been up and down. I feel okay.
I do.
I mean, I'm not upset, you know.
I feel like I can close the book
Yeah.
and walk away and everything will still be okay.
Yeah, we obviously want them to win the World Series, and this window is still open.
Mm-hmm.
It is not closing like we thought or other people are saying. This window is open. We're going to be competitive. We got Tito. I'm excited to see what this, next season is going to bring.
And maybe Mickey Callaway comes back.
Oh, we're not going to start that now.
I'll start that rumor.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening. We love all you, and have a great off season.
Good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Who keeps you cheering year after year? Who's got the ballpark? The best is all right here. Who's got the fans with so much Cleveland pride? Who's talking baseball?